Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
The hardwood has witnessed countless moments of greatness, but what we're about to explore transcends ordinary basketball narrative. This is the story of how one player's meteoric rise collided with institutional change, creating reverberations that would reshape an entire league's landscape. Let's be honest, a lot of fans aren't happy with Stephanie White. Should she be replaced by Larry Bird, or is she actually the right coach for this team? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's go. Picture this scene. Thousands of fans packed into an arena, their collective breath held in anticipation. The atmosphere crackles with electricity as cameras focus on a figure who has already redefined what it means to be a rookie sensation. When Caitlin Clark steps forward to address the crowd, nobody could have predicted the magnitude of the announcement that would follow. Her words would ignite a firestorm of speculation, excitement, and disbelief throughout the basketball universe. The revelation wasn't merely about personnel changes or standard organizational adjustments. This was something fundamentally different, a seismic shift that would challenge every assumption about how professional women's basketball operates. In that instant, Clark wasn't just delivering news. She was unveiling a transformation that would reverberate through locker rooms, front offices, and media outlets nationwide. The ripple effects began immediately. Social media platforms exploded with commentary, analysis, and heated debates. Sports journalists scrambled to understand the implications, while fans tried to process what this unprecedented move might mean for their beloved team. The traditional boundaries between player influence and organizational authority were being redrawn in real time, and everyone knew they were witnessing history unfold. What made this moment so extraordinary wasn't just the announcement itself, but what it represented about the evolving power dynamics in professional sports. Here was a rookie, barely through her first season, wielding influence typically reserved for veteran executives or franchise legends. The conventional wisdom about how teams make critical decisions was being challenged by a new generation of athlete who refused to accept the status quo. The basketball world had never seen anything quite like Caitlin Clark's emergence onto the professional scene. From her very first game, she displayed an uncommon combination of skill, vision, and leadership that set her apart from her peers. Her impact extended far beyond statistical achievements, though those were impressive enough. She possessed an innate ability to elevate not just her own performance, but the entire atmosphere surrounding her team. Clark's arrival transformed the Indiana Fever from a struggling franchise into the most compelling story in women's professional basketball. The change wasn't gradual. It was immediate and undeniable. Attendance figures that had languished for years suddenly soared to unprecedented heights. Season ticket waiting lists grew exponentially as fans clamored for the opportunity to witness her artistry firsthand. The financial transformation was equally dramatic. Corporate partnerships that had previously shown lukewarm interest in the franchise suddenly recognized the marketing goldmine that Clark represented. Her magnetic personality and exceptional talent created opportunities for brand collaborations that elevated the entire organization's profile. Local businesses and national corporations alike sought association with the phenomenon she had become. But Clark's influence extended beyond mere commercial success. She brought a new energy to the arena that was palpable from the moment fans entered the building. Her pre-game routines became must-see entertainment. Her warm-up shots drew cheers typically reserved for game-winning moments. And her interactions with teammates and fans revealed a charisma that transcended the sport itself. What truly distinguished Clark from other talented rookies was her ability to command respect within the organization's decision-making processes. Her voice carried weight in discussions about team strategy, player development, and long-term vision. This level of influence was virtually unprecedented for a first-year professional, yet it seemed natural given her obvious basketball intelligence and leadership qualities. The transformation she brought to the Fever wasn't limited to on-court performance. She redefined what it meant to be a franchise player in the modern era, blending athletic excellence with business acumen and cultural awareness. Her understanding of media, marketing, and fan engagement was sophisticated beyond her years, allowing her to maximize her impact in ways that previous generations of players never imagined possible. Clark's social media presence became a masterclass in athlete branding. Every post, video, and interaction was carefully crafted to build connections with fans while maintaining authenticity. Her content strategy helped expand the Fever's reach far beyond traditional basketball demographics, attracting new audiences who had never previously followed women's professional sports. The cultural shift she catalyzed was perhaps even more significant than her statistical achievements. Clark made women's basketball appointment television for millions of viewers who had never paid attention to the league before. Her games became events that transcended sport, drawing celebrities, influencers, and casual fans who were captivated by her unique blend of skill and personality. However, with great success came inevitable scrutiny, particularly regarding the coaching situation that had developed around Clark's extraordinary talents. While Stephanie White possessed undeniable credentials and experience, questions began to emerge about whether her coaching philosophy aligned with Clark's natural playing style and instincts. The tension wasn't immediately obvious to casual observers, but those who followed the team closely began to notice subtle friction between Clark's improvisational genius and White's more structured approach. In post-game interviews and behind-the-scenes moments, hints of this philosophical divide occasionally surfaced, suggesting that perhaps the partnership wasn't as seamless as it appeared from the outside. Clark's game thrived on creativity, spontaneity, and calculated risk-taking. Her basketball IQ was so advanced that she could read developing situations and make split-second decisions that consistently put her team in advantageous positions. This instinctive approach had been the foundation of her success throughout her amateur career and early professional development. White's coaching style, while effective in many contexts, emphasized systematic execution and careful game management. Her approach prioritized minimizing mistakes over maximizing opportunities, which sometimes conflicted with Clark's natural inclination to push boundaries and create magic in unexpected moments. This fundamental difference in philosophy created tension that bubbled beneath the surface. During critical game situations, the disconnect became more apparent. Clark's desire to maintain aggressive offensive pressure sometimes clashed with White's preference for clock management and safe play calling. These moments highlighted the challenge of coaching a generational talent whose greatest strengths might not align perfectly with conventional strategic thinking. The situation reached a tipping point during several high-profile games where Clark's individual brilliance was somewhat constrained by strategic decisions that seemed to limit her impact. Fans and analysts began to question whether the coaching approach was fully maximizing the potential of such an extraordinary player. The discussions grew louder and more frequent as the season progressed. Clark herself, while maintaining public professionalism, occasionally hinted at her frustrations through carefully worded comments in interviews. She spoke about the importance of trusting players to make instinctive decisions in crucial moments, and the value of allowing natural basketball flow to develop organically rather than being overly prescribed. These subtle criticisms didn't go unnoticed by media members and fans who had become deeply invested in Clark's success. The narrative began to shift from celebrating the team's achievements to questioning whether different leadership might unlock even greater potential from their superstar player. The pressure for change intensified as the season progressed, and the gap between Clark's individual excellence and the team's overall strategic identity became more pronounced. Whispers about alternative coaching approaches and different philosophical directions began circulating among basketball insiders, who recognized that something needed to change to fully realize the team's championship potential. Enter Larry Bird, whose mere mention in basketball circles carries the weight of legend. Few figures in sports history have achieved the level of universal respect and admiration that Bird commands. His playing career was defined by clutch performances, strategic brilliance, and an unwavering commitment to excellence that elevated every team he touched. Bird's connection to Indiana runs deeper than professional achievement. It's woven into the very fabric of his identity. His small-town roots in French Lick provided the foundation for the work ethic and competitive fire that would define his entire career. The values instilled during those formative years Persistence, intelligence, and relentless pursuit of perfection became the hallmarks of his approach to basketball. His college career at Indiana State University remains one of the most compelling stories in sports history. The 1979 NCAA championship game against Magic Johnson wasn't just a basketball contest. It was a cultural moment that transcended sport and helped define an entire generation's relationship with college athletics. That game showcased Bird's ability to rise to the biggest stages and deliver performances that would be remembered forever. The transition from player to coach and executive revealed another dimension of Bird's basketball genius. His understanding of strategy, player psychology, and organizational culture proved just as advanced as his on-court skills had been. During his coaching tenure with the Indiana Pacers, he demonstrated an ability to connect with modern players while implementing systems that maximized their potential. Bird's executive work further established his credentials as someone who understood every aspect of building successful basketball organizations. His decisions regarding player personnel, coaching staff, and long-term strategic direction consistently demonstrated the same intelligence and foresight that had made him such an exceptional player. The prospect of Bird bringing his expertise to women's professional basketball represents something unprecedented in sports history. His involvement would signal that the highest levels of basketball knowledge and experience recognize the WNBA as a worthy destination for elite coaching talent. This validation could have transformative effects on how the entire league is perceived by players, fans, and media. Bird's coaching philosophy, developed over decades of high-level basketball experience, emphasizes player empowerment within structured systems. He believes in giving talented players the freedom to make instinctive decisions, while providing them with the strategic framework necessary for team success. This approach seems ideally suited to maximize Clark's exceptional abilities. The potential partnership between Bird and Clark represents a fascinating convergence of basketball brilliance across different eras and contexts. Bird's old-school fundamentals and strategic acumen, combined with Clark's modern athleticism and court vision, could create something entirely new in professional basketball. Their collaboration might establish new standards for player-coach relationships in the contemporary game. Bird's presence would bring instant credibility and attention to the Indiana Fever that extends far beyond typical coaching hires. His involvement would guarantee national media coverage, increased television viewership, and heightened interest from casual sports fans who might not otherwise follow women's professional basketball. The marketing and promotional opportunities would be unprecedented. The basketball community's reaction to this potential partnership has been overwhelmingly positive, with analysts and former players recognizing the enormous potential for both individual and team success. The combination of Bird's proven ability to develop talent and Clark's limitless potential creates possibilities that extend far beyond what either might achieve independently. For Clark specifically, working with someone of Bird's caliber represents an opportunity to accelerate her development as both a player and a leader. Bird's experience navigating pressure, managing expectations, and performing in crucial moments could provide invaluable guidance as Clark continues to establish herself as the face of women's professional basketball. The implications for the Indiana Fever as an organization are equally significant. Bird's involvement would elevate the franchise's profile to unprecedented heights, creating opportunities for increased revenue, improved facilities, and enhanced player recruitment. The team would instantly become one of the most watched and discussed franchises in all of professional sports. From a league-wide perspective, this partnership could serve as a catalyst for broader growth and development within the WNBA. The increased attention and credibility that Bird's presence would bring might attract other high-profile figures to consider involvement in women's professional basketball, creating a positive cycle of growth and recognition. The cultural significance extends beyond basketball into broader conversations about gender, sport, and opportunity. Bird's willingness to bring his expertise to the WNBA would represent a powerful statement about the value and potential of women's professional athletics. His involvement might inspire other legendary figures from various sports to consider similar contributions. The potential impact on young athletes, particularly girls who dream of professional basketball careers, cannot be overstated. Seeing someone of Bird's stature fully committed to women's basketball would send a powerful message about the legitimacy and importance of their aspirations. This could inspire increased participation and investment in women's basketball at all levels. The business implications are equally compelling. Bird's involvement would likely attract new sponsors, television partners, and media opportunities that could transform the economic landscape for the entire league. The increased visibility and credibility might open doors that have been closed to women's professional basketball for decades. However, this partnership also comes with significant pressure and expectations. The basketball world will be watching closely to see whether this unprecedented collaboration can deliver on its enormous potential. Both Bird and Clark will face intense scrutiny as they work to establish their working relationship and implement their shared vision. The success of this partnership could serve as a blueprint for other teams and leagues looking to maximize the potential of their star players through innovative leadership approaches. Conversely, any struggles or conflicts could reinforce skepticism about unconventional coaching arrangements and high-profile partnerships. The timeline for implementing this vision remains uncertain, but the anticipation continues to build throughout the basketball community. Fans, media members, and industry insiders are all eager to see how this story unfolds and what impact it might have on the future direction of professional basketball. The Indiana Fever find themselves at the center of a basketball revolution that could reshape how we think about coaching, player development, and organizational structure in professional sports. The combination of Clark's transcendent talent and Bird's legendary expertise creates possibilities that extend far beyond traditional expectations. As we look toward the future, one thing remains certain. This partnership has already changed the conversation around women's professional basketball in ways that will have lasting impact regardless of the specific outcomes on the court. The Indiana Fever have positioned themselves as pioneers in a new era of sports leadership and innovation. What emerges from this unprecedented collaboration will likely influence how professional sports organizations approach talent development, coaching decisions, and player empowerment for years to come. The basketball world watches with anticipation as history prepares to unfold in ways nobody could have predicted just a few short months ago.